I'm calling this one Twister because of how the pattern twists within the block. Also because of the background fabric. It sort of reminds me of the movement in a storm or a thunderstorm in the sky, a tornado. Not that we want to think about those things, but that sort of was my thought process when I came up for the name for this quilt. So today's all about Twister, and it's a lot about goals for 2025 for my channel, and how it's going to impact me in my life, and how it's going to impact you as the viewer. Stay tuned. Welcome. My name's Angela Davis, and I'm the 4am quilter. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about is the fabric. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is choosing the fabric. And I got this new at Joann Fabrics, and the thing that attracted the fabric to me was two things: the movement within the pattern and the colors. And when I first started out in quilt making and when I first started out in crocheting, I was not confident in my color selection. And so my colors tended to be soft, muted neutrals, or soft, muted colors within a color family. So if I chose gold, it wouldn't be a bright gold, it would be a soft, muted gold. If I chose red, it wouldn't be a bright red, it would be a toned down red. If I chose yellow, it wouldn't be bright yellow. But as I've progressed in my crocheting and my quilting, crocheting being my first love, I've gotten a lot more confident with color, and I've gotten a lot more confident with pattern. So I guess the point I'm trying to make is, when I was a young quilter, I would have never chosen this. I bought this a few months ago, and I'm very happy that I did. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. So when I pulled it out, I thought, what do I have that would work for this? You know, what other colors do I have to complement this pattern? And so I pulled this up, and this fabric right here, let me show you an up close of it. There it is. It's another piece. But this fabric right here was originally a lavender, soft lavender sheet that I had in my stash that was from my house. My daughter outgrew it. She had the sheet when she was very, very small. And so I thought, well, hey, I can use that for something, you know, a backing on a quilt, something. Well, I decided one day to dye it black. So I went through the whole process of buying the RIT dye and dyeing it, follow the manufacturer's instructions, and this is the color it turned out. Almost like a smoky lavender, and I loved it when it came out of the dryer. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Not what I intended, but very, very cool. And I wasn't sure what I was going to use it in. So when I pulled this fabric out to think about making this quilt, I saw that purpley, smoky purple in there, and I said, yeah, I have the fabric to match that. Because when I first dyed this and realized what color it was going to be, I had no idea what I was going to use it in. So that was great. And then I knew I wanted to pick up the gold, and I knew I had a gold in my stash that would work. So I also knew that I wanted to do some type of a twist pattern, in mill twist, whatever you want to call it. So I proceeded to make the blocks for this quilt, but I didn't want it to be dominant. I wanted it to be an accent of the main print. So I was really happy with how it turned out. This is a weekend project. Even though it's not completely finished, I'm still not sure if I'm going to put a border on it or not yet. And it's going to be a lap-size quilt for our home. You have to excuse Puppy, she wants attention. I was really happy with how it turned out, and I might make a pattern of it. I'm not sure. I'm thinking about it. But I have to sort of, she wants attention. I had to walk away, take care of my little furry friend, my little fur baby, Summer. When they need attention, you know, they need attention, they let you know. But anyway, I think I am going to work up a pattern for this. I'm thinking about it. I had a hard time figuring out how the dimensions were going to work up for this twist. So depending on, I might have to recreate the block from scratch in order to prepare a pattern for it. So I'm not saying it's going to be ready anytime soon. I'm just saying that when it is available, I'll let you know. But so basically, what I wanted to really show off in this quilt was the fabric. So I didn't want the design to be overpowering. I wanted it to enhance the fabric. So I'm really pleased with the overall look of it. I feel as though this muted grayish lavender purple really picks up these soft colors, and then of course the gold picks up those gold hints that keep peeking out at us from this fabric. So I'm pleased, And it took me a weekend, 2.5 days, to decide on fabric, decide on a pattern, start cutting, and constructing it, putting it together. And I had a very busy weekend this weekend. So if it wasn't so busy and all I had to do was concentrate on this quilt, I would have had it basted and quilted and bound, basically. But I had a very busy weekend, so just constructing the quilt top took about a weekend. So you could easily do this in 2 weekends if you wanted to relax and take your time with it, or if you need a quick gift. It's definitely manageable. So I'm still deciding on a border. I don't have a lot of this left. So if I do a border, it's going to be predominantly my 2 accent colors. So I'm not sure. I might not put a border on it. Haven't decided yet. Let me sit down for this section here. So as I said earlier in the video, when I introduced the video, I want to talk a little bit about 2025, some of the goals for my channel that I have. Looking back over 2024, there are definitely things I want to do differently, but it has definitely been a learning process, because this whole channel was a learning process. You know, starting a new adventure like this, you learn along the way, and then you take those mistakes or those pitfalls or those successes, and then you use those to help guide your decisions in the future to improve and make things better in yourself and the product or service that you're providing. So how does that impact me? How does that impact you as a viewer? The first thing I've done is I've started printing out my monthly calendar for the whole year, 2025. I never did that before for my channel. And how I want to do that is I want to have goals for each month, but within that have an overarching goal. So the overarching goal for 2024 is to teach you safety in the sewing room, teach you good cutting skills, accuracy in a quarter inch seam allowance, how to build your own block. So if you see a design you like, how to build that block and help you as the viewer. Now what do we do with it? What are some of our ideas that we get in our head without necessarily having a pattern available? The main goal, though, is for me, I tend to think in terms of now. Like, so when this past July 2024, I was thinking, summer, bright colors. YouTubers, on the other hand, as I was doing my research and watching other YouTubers, they were doing Christmas in July. My brain was thinking summer, Independence Day. So when I did my Irish chain video, which I just put out a week ago, which can translate into a holiday quilt, it didn't get as many views as I expected it to get, because in retrospect, I should have been doing holiday colors back in July. So I'm learning how, in order to have this YouTube channel and treat it as a hobby slash business, I need to project and think ahead. So that's something I need to work with going forward in 2025 is how do I project ahead for projects 3, 4, 5, 6 months in advance. So that's on my end as far as planning, the planning process of the future of my channel. And that was a learning process. Getting back to the overarching ideas and goals that I have some back burner projects. One of them is my pattern challenge, where I started the grandmother's basket, reproducing an 1800s grandmother basket quilt. I want to really concentrate on that and get that finished for you and for myself, because that's a long range type of quilt, not a quick weekend quilt. The other quilt that I want to concentrate on is my hexagons, my hexagon quilt, and I've had a couple of little videos about that. That's another one that is a long-term project, but it's part of the overarching goal for 2025. I want to get both of those completed, so I might put out a couple of little update videos on both of those quilts as I'm progressing. So these are all things that I'm thinking about now in early November, so that when January 2025 hits, I have a lot of my ducks in a row. But I'm still going to have my pop-up videos where I'm like, I'm going to make a weekend quilt, you know. I have these colors and I want to really dive into it, and I want to really work with those colors and those fabrics and that particular design, like I did with this one, the twister quilt. I want to build up my skill level to really dive into some more advanced techniques. I want to get into curved piecing. That's something that I don't do ever. I want to get into, possibly along with that, curved techniques, but some of the design elements that can be created using curved piecing. For example, Drunkard's Path, Lover's Knot is curved piecing. Grandmother's Fan has the overarching curve within that block. So I have ideas in my head of more advanced techniques that I want to challenge myself as far as patterns that I want to delve into that I've sort of pulled back on, because do I do a lot of curved piecing? No. Is it intimidating? Yes. But can I do it? I may flub up a few times first, but I can do it. And if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm going to show you how by teaching you my mistakes and how I corrected them. So that's sort of what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about this twister quilt, but I wanted to talk about my plans for the future for 2025 moving forward. But it's interesting because when I watch YouTubers that I like, Emma, I was just watching her. Is it Emma Jones in England? She does all paper piecing, and I'm talking little tiny hexagons, like the size of her thumb. Just amazing work. I'll put a link down below to her channel. Other YouTubers that I like, of course, Karen Brown, Just Get It Done Quilts. She's on the list, definitely. So as I'm watching their videos, I get inspired and I get ideas. So I will continue to do that, to not just be for the enjoyment of it, but to learn sort of as a businesswoman, because I'm running a small business. I mean, this is going to eventually be a small side business. How do they get from point A to point B? I guess. And I'm going to continue to watch their videos and learn from them. So that's you know, me personally. For the 4am quilter, how am I going to move forward? So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the learning process. I'm looking forward to how that translates for you as the viewer as far as you're learning and watching my my YouTube channel. But I guess I just wanted to touch base with you about some of the things that were floating around in my head as far as 2025, how that's going to impact you as the viewer, and I'm hoping improve your enjoyment of the videos, and still have, fun with it. And how do we juggle life and get our quilting done? How do we juggle our other commitments in order to enjoy our downtime when we are sitting at our machine, when we are sitting on the couch with our hand piecing, our hand quilting, and so on and so forth. I wanted to discuss that with you because any decision I make impacts you as the viewer. And it is approximately 3:30 in the morning. I'm going to go back to bed. This is what happens when you wake up and you can't fall back to sleep. Hope you enjoyed the video. I would love to hear from you about what your goals are for 2025. It's the month of November, so you know what that means. It's Thanksgiving time, and it's one of the most beloved holidays here in the United States. I thoroughly enjoy Thanksgiving. I enjoy everything about it, the cooking, the smells, prepping for it, the getting together. It's just so much fun. So we'll be talking about that as well as I put out videos for the month. I hope you have a safe rest of your week, and you know what to do. If you're new to my channel and you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe so that you don't miss any more videos. If you're a regular to my channel, from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much. You have a great day today. It's Tuesday, November 12th. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Take care. And as always, why sleep when you can sew? I'm Angela Davis, and I'm the 4am Quilter.